I just got off a live that helped me calm down enough to actually be able to talk about this next story. Yesterday, Donald Trump quietly signed a $901 billion defense bill. Yeah, that's money for Pete Hegseth's Department of Defense, after the bill was passed in a bipartisan vote in the Senate. Yes, the bill does include funding for Ukraine. It does include pay raises for our service members. But voting to pass a bill that sends nearly $1 trillion to Pete Hegseth's Department of Defense, as they are currently engaged in essentially war crimes, as Donald Trump is attempting to start a war of aggression over oil. What are corporate establishment Democrats doing? You understand why my blood is boiling over this story. Here's the list of the Democrats that voted for this. Unsurprised to find Chuck Schumer, Amy Klobuchar, Dick Durbin on this list. You will notice neither of my senators voted for it. Ruben Gallego, Kirsten Gillibrand, Sheldon Whitehouse, not surprising, they all voted for it. You can't be an opposition party to fascism and then continually vote to fund fascism. It's like the super wealthy corporate establishment Democrats in the Senate have no interest in being an opposition party at all. As my eldest kid said earlier, they're sitting right where they want to be, right? One Georgia Republican said that this bipartisan bill ensures America's war fighters are the most lethal and capable fighting force in the world. The Republican Party are a bunch of fucking war pigs. That's why they're attempting to call the Department of Defense the Department of War. It is not actually the Department of War, no matter what kind of plaque they put on something. They're warmongers straight up. It is this fixation with us going and engaging in wars of aggression. It is this preoccupation with war and violence. My dad spent 30 years in the Air Force as a physician, saving lives. The focus of our service members is not on being warmongers, but the focus of Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, and the Republicans definitely is. But for me, the heart of this story is the fact that Democrats are still to this day, not understanding the severity of the moment. They are still beholden to their dark money, their corporate money, their own stock portfolios, and they are voting accordingly. They are not representing us, the American people. They're not representing and they're not fighting for democracy at all. This is why Indivisible has Indivisible 2026, an attempt to get control of the Democratic Party and have representation for the people. Too many in the Senate are completely ineffective. Chuck Schumer is a failed leader. He has a lower approval rating than Donald Trump. He has the lowest approval rating of anybody in the federal government. And yet we are seeing our senators allow him to claim the position of leadership. I think that every single day we should all be calling our Democratic senators and demanding new leadership. It requires all of us calling once a day, a 2-minute phone call. Call your Democratic senators. You can call here or you can look up their number for your local office. But DC works as well, and say, vote Chuck Schumer out. We need 10 Democratic senators to demand a new vote for new leadership. They have to nominate somebody. And then they vote for and elect that person. It's not us who picks Democratic leadership in the Senate. It's not the whole Senate. It's just the Senate Democrats. And if we have a Democratic senator or senators, we should be pressuring them. Chuck Schumer is failing across the board. He is absolutely inept, incapable of meeting this moment. He is assisting fascism with his ineptitude. We need new leadership in the Democratic Party. Chuck Schumer and the DCCC are putting tons of money into dinosaur corporate Democrats. They are spending their energy, their focus, their money trying to make sure that progressive Democrats who want to represent the people fail in primaries. They're doing it in Minnesota. They're doing it in Maine. They're doing it all across the country. If you need to understand, if you need a clear picture of what Chuck Schumer's priorities are, it's not saving us from fascism. It's not defending American democracy. It's not representation for you. It's trying to prevent progressives from getting elected. It's Chuck Schumer trying to protect his power, AIPAC's power, corporate power. He wants to maintain controlled opposition because he's very comfortable where he is. I'm telling y'all, Indivisible 2026, we have to organize in the primaries, especially if we are in a blue state where we know that our congressional seats, our Senate seats are going to be blue. We know that a Democrat will get elected. It's not worrying about whether that candidate can defeat a Republican in the general, because they're going to no matter what. That's where we push for more progressive candidates who can help take over the party. We need a Tea Party style takeover of the Democrats. I've been saying that all year. I want to read here my notes from an Indivisible meeting a couple of weeks ago. Ezra said, "Money doesn't vote. We can move and mobilize people. We can also mobilize grassroots dollars. We don't have to wait around and have Chuck Schumer platform folks like Angie Craig in Minnesota or Janet Mills in Maine. There are millions of dollars from the DCCC, from Chuck Schumer, corporate money flowing into these primary races because they are scared shitless that the people will organize and vote for a progressive." Ezra went on to say, "Chuck Schumer is fundraising for the same old stale Dems, and we the people must stand up. We cannot let establishment money buy our primary races. We have to pay attention to what we can do in the primaries and where corporate Democrats are trying to interfere." None of that is me directly quoting Ezra, by the way. This is my notes from the meeting mixed with my own interpretation. So don't clip that and say, quote, Ezra Levin, because it's not trying to sum up his perspective and add mine as well. "We, the people, have to remake this party into a fighting party. We cannot rely on the party to become fighters unless we make them." Leah from Indivisible added to this conversation saying, "They have big checks, but we have people power. People power can overcome big money. Big checks versus people power. This is what the Democratic primaries are looking like they are shaping up to be for 2026. Indivisible and myself as well are calling for Chuck Schumer to be removed from power. We have to keep pressuring our senators. We have to look to these primary races to see where Chuck Schumer's priorities lie, and they are not with the people. The Democratic primaries are going to be big checks versus people power, and we get to bring it. We get to bring all of our power and influence and our vote to shape the party and to show the Democrats that absolutely big money is not going to control us. They can't actually buy our votes. They can't actually stop the groundswell of grassroots organizing." So I've been processing all of this over the last 24, 48 hours. And then I saw another story. Oh gosh, it was after midnight. So technically this morning. It's by Igor Bobik in the HuffPo, and it says, "Will Democrats force another government shutdown over healthcare? The party's stronger political positioning in the coming midterm elections seem to have shrunk many senators' appetites for another protracted shutdown fight. These establishment Democrats, coming off of funding almost $1 trillion to Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump's Department of Defense, have decided that we have another chance to hold the line for people's healthcare. We have another chance to hold the line and try and protect democracy. But no, that's not who we are. We're not going to do that." The article goes on to say, "Senate Democrats don't seem to have the appetite to force another painful and protracted government shutdown in January. They could pull that lever. Considering the surrender Dems, and please understand, it was not just those who voted to end the shutdown. It was all of these other wealthy corporate Democrats behind them. They don't actually care about being anything other than controlled opposition. It's all about a whisper, a promise of progress that doesn't actually materialize. It's all about giving us far less than they could and far less than we deserve." As I said before, why is it that we just got ACA subsidies? Why is it that we just got the ACA when we could have had universal health care? They never give us everything we deserve because they function as controlled opposition. They will never give us the things we need if it causes them to betray their corporate, dark, foreign money. You want to hear what Senator Dick Durbin said about the potential for another government shutdown in January where they could advocate for our healthcare and for democracy? He said, "As far as raising national consciousness of the challenge families face, I think we did our job," referencing the first shutdown. He thought that whole first shutdown was about raising awareness about how expensive healthcare is for us. Is that what you thought that shutdown fight was about? How is that working out for you, that awareness has been raised? So instead of getting angry, instead of feeling despondent, instead of feeling hopeless because corporate establishment Democrats are not fighting for us, they are not our allies in the fight against fascism. Instead of giving up hope, it's time to get angry and it's time to organize. Please go to indivisible2026.org. Call your senators every single day and demand that Chuck Schumer be removed. and we got to start organizing like crazy. We can take this party over. It's big checks versus people power. The power lies with us.